In February 1797, Britain was at war with revolutionary France. The French Republic, newly radicalized and determined to destroy the old European order, had already shaken the continent. Monarchies were falling, armies were advancing, and Britain, long protected by the English Channel, now faced a terrifying possibility: invasion. French leaders believed Britain was vulnerable. Food shortages, war exhaustion, and political unrest suggested that a single successful landing could spark rebellion. So they tried. What followed would become known as the Battle of Fishguard, the last time a foreign army landed on British soil with hostile intent, and it would end in one of the strangest military failures in European history. By the late 1790s, revolutionary France had a clear strategy. If they could not defeat Britain at sea, they would destabilize it from within. French planners believed Britain's working class was restless, Ireland and Wales were politically volatile, and a landing force could trigger local uprisings. Wales, in particular, was seen as sympathetic to revolutionary ideals. French intelligence suggested that many Welsh people resented English rule, would welcome liberation, and might join a revolutionary cause. This belief would prove deeply flawed. The invasion force was led by Colonel William Tate, an American-born officer serving France. The troops themselves were unusual. Rather than seasoned soldiers, the force consisted largely of convicts, deserters, and political prisoners. Many were recruited directly from French jails. They were poorly disciplined, badly supplied, and only loosely loyal to the revolutionary cause. In total, around 1,400 men set sail for Britain aboard a small fleet. Their target, the coast of Pembrokeshire, Wales, near the town of Fishguard. On the 22nd of February, 1797, French ships appeared off the Welsh coast. The troops landed at Carraguastad Point, near Fishguard. At first, the landing succeeded. There was little immediate resistance, and the French established positions inland. But almost immediately, things began to unravel. The area was rugged, unfamiliar, and far from the support the French expected. Worse still, the troops discovered something they were not supposed to find: alcohol. Local farms and villages stored large quantities of wine and spirits, salvaged from shipwrecks along the coast. Many of the French troops, already undisciplined, began looting. Drunkenness spread rapidly through the ranks. Instead of organizing, marching, or rallying support, soldiers wandered the countryside, intoxicated and disordered. The invasion force lost cohesion almost immediately. Any hope of inspiring a popular uprising vanished. Word of the landing spread quickly. Local authorities mobilized what forces they could. Leading the defense was Lord Corder, a local landowner and militia commander. His forces included local militia, volunteer units, and civilians armed with whatever weapons they had. Crucially, many Welsh women wore traditional red shawls and tall black hats. From a distance, the French mistook them for British soldiers in red uniforms. This misunderstanding would have dramatic consequences. By the time French commander William Tate assessed the situation, reality had set in. His troops were scattered. Supplies were low. Discipline was gone. And what appeared to be a large British force was assembling nearby. In truth, the British defenders were outnumbered. But Tate did not know this. Believing he was surrounded by a superior force and fearing annihilation, Tate chose to negotiate. On the 24th of February, 1797, just 2 days after landing, the French surrendered. It was a complete humiliation. Over 1,200 French troops laid down their arms. They became prisoners of war, marched away under guard by militia and local civilians. The invasion had failed without a single major battle. Britain's last invasion ended not in bloodshed, but confusion, poor planning, and drunken soldiers. The Battle of Fishguard failed for several key reasons. First, poor intelligence. The French wildly overestimated Welsh support for revolution. Second, bad troop selection. Convicts and deserters were never going to carry out a disciplined invasion. Third, logistical failure. There were no secure supply lines or clear objectives after landing. And finally, local resistance. Ordinary people, armed with little more than resolve, helped stop a foreign army. The Battle of Fishguard holds a unique place in history. It was the last land invasion of Britain, a reminder that naval dominance mattered, and proof that morale and discipline can outweigh numbers. It also shattered French hopes of easily destabilizing Britain. Future invasion attempts would focus elsewhere. Today, Fishguard is a quiet coastal town, but for 2 days in 1797, it stood at the center of European conflict. The Battle of Fishguard reminds us that history is not always decided by great armies or famous generals. Sometimes, it turns on local courage, misunderstandings, and the consequences of poor planning. Britain's last invasion did not end in flames or conquest. It ended in surrender. And that is what makes it unforgettable.